Today we're going to take a look at the Centurion 39, and this is their classic model with the laminated wood stocks. This is an AK-47 variant made by Century Arms International, and these AKs are made right here in the USA. In fact, they're also made as a milled receiver AK, which gives you stability and more rigid platform to make these more accurate, and they're smooth operational. It is in the classic 7.62 by 3.9, and it does come with two Tapco 30-round magazines. There are three different options for the laminated stocks, and this is a Tapco Timbersmith stock. It's in the black laminate. You can also get it in brown, and you can get a blonde variant. And then it comes with a polymer pistol grip. They do make a tactical version, and I'm going to talk a little bit about some of the features of the tactical, even though I've heard a few downsides with the tactical compared to the classic. Now, the receiver itself is milled. You know, most of your AK variants are stamped receivers, and your milled receivered AKs are usually more expensive because the process is a lot more labor intensive. But these receivers are made from a solid 11-pound blank of 4140 ordnance steel, and that's a really excellent quality steel to be able to use in this receiver. Again, most of your receivers are just stamped out, and so this is actually machined out of a piece of steel. Now, your dust cover is going to be stamped, a lot of your other parts. Of course, with the safety right here, this is a very smooth safety for most of your AK variants. A lot of times they're stiff and they're tough to bring down. Even the bolt itself is a fairly smooth feel to it. A lot of the Wassers and a lot of the other AK variants are pretty tough when you pull this back. There's a lot of tension and a lot of roughness. This really is pretty smooth. It comes with a chrome line moly steel barrel. It's 16 inches. It's 1 in 10 twist. It comes with this really unique chevron muzzle brake. Very cool design. In fact, it really helped keep the rifle muzzle down when firing, especially rapid shots. But this is removable, and you can put aftermarket muzzle brakes if you choose to. It has the standard style front post, but no windage adjustment here. Only elevation by screwing in the front post with a tool. So actually, both windage and elevation can be adjusted right here at the rear sight. It does have the regular rear sight adjustments, and this is really for yardage right here. But right here on the back, there's a small little set screw, and you can loosen this up and tap your windage adjustment over right here on the rear sight and then tighten it back down. I have heard a couple of reports where this is a little bit loose when it gets from the factory. Just make sure that's tight when you get it, and then that way you can have a solid sight right here. One of the things that Century does purport is they inspect all the different rifles to make sure that everything is lined up properly. You know, your gas tubes lined up, your front sight, and there's just a general inspection that's done on the rifle. But the fit and finish of this rifle is extremely nice. The laminate stocks are milled, and they're very nice. I've had a couple of sets of these Timbersmith stocks, not only for the AK, but also for the SKS. And they're just an excellent quality stock. The fit is really tight, both on the gas tube and right here at the handguard, and the rear stock. Very fine, tight fit. Now, one of the things you're going to notice about the C39 is that it has this upper tang here, but it also has a lower tang at the bottom. So only certain stocks are going to be able to fit to this rifle if you're looking to replace these stocks for some of your more traditional AK stocks. It does have a front sling attachment right into the gas port, and then right here at the rear of the stock. It has a metal butt pad. It does not have the cleaning kit option or the little trap door here, but the pad does have grooves in here to give you more traction on your shoulder. One thing that I did notice though is there's a little bit of wobble in the dust cover. Not anything big, but there is a little bit. This is also more of a parkerized, lighter parkerized finish than the milled receiver, so it gives you a little bit of a color variation between the two. We're going to go ahead and just take a look though, remove the dust cover. We're going to go ahead and remove the bolt assembly as well, pulling out your recoil spring and your bolt carrier. Now, one thing you'll notice is that the bolt carrier has these skeletonized cuts in it, or these ports, and I believe this just lightens the bolt carrier somewhat and but it seems to function very well. In fact, out at the range, we were firing this really rapidly, and there were no hang-ups at all whatsoever. Let's go ahead and pull the bolt out. Now, it does feature the G2 trigger group, and this is a double hook trigger group. And I've had a couple of these as well, and they really function very nicely. One of the things you're going to notice, though, that's a lot different than your standard AK is that it has more of a spring coil than the little coils that they have in the traditional AK-47. Now, one of the things about this trigger group is it reduces trigger pull. And so I'm going to hold the hammer here and just pull the trigger. It's a really light, smooth trigger. And there's not hardly any take up. It just pulls immediately. And really, that surprised me the first time I shot this at the range. I don't think I've ever shot an AK that shoots like that. Once I got used to it, it is a beautiful trigger. It doesn't slap your finger like a lot of the AKs do when it comes back on the reset. It's just a really smooth trigger pull. And if it's one of the things that I really like about this rifle. This is a very nice bolt system. This is just an exceptional AK variant. Everything goes together really smooth. One of the things, though, that really surprises me is the price on these. These run typically from Century Arms about $5.99. I think that's what they're listed for. And to get a milled receiver AK-47, that is phenomenal. Now, the new tactical model has bolt latches on both sides of the receiver, which makes it really nice to be able to pull it from the left side, from your non-shooting hand. But, you know, there are some cut holes here. I've heard about some hang-ups with the tactical model. Also, one of the things about the tactical is it has a much shorter sight radius. The front sight is moved all the way up here near the gas port, and so you're not going to have as much sight radius, especially if you're using iron sights. So this gives you a little more sight radius. I really like the classical a little better, again, than I do the tactical, even though the tactical has a lot of appeal to it as far as theoretically. I think that the standard Classic 39 is going to be a better seller and a more popular rifle. The fit with the magazines, there's not a lot of wobble with the magazines. And then, of course, with the release right here, very sure. The tactical models have a little bit of a wider paddle for your mag release, but it just goes in and out really smooth. Of course, if it'll take the Tapco 30-round magazines, it will take the Bakelite magazines and some of the other AK variant magazines without any problems. The rifle does weigh about 8.2 pounds. The length of the rifle is about 36, just a little under 36 inches. I think on the Century Arms website it said that the rifle was a little over 37 inches. So I'm not sure why that is. It says that, but it's definitely just under 36 inches. The length of pull on the rear stock is about 9 inches. With the tactical model, it's about 14 inches. This is the typical size for your European AKs. They're a little bit shorter than what American shooters typically like, a little bit of a longer pull. You can add a rubberized butt pad on here, though, to extend that, which makes it kind of nice. But I had no issues with it, firing it, and it seemed to just fit in very snug. It does say made in the USA, has an American flag engraved into the receiver with Century Arms and the caliber, etc. This is the only markings that I could find on the rifle. There are no other part markings anywhere. Out of the box, the gun was shooting a little bit to the left. Of course, we adjusted the sight, got it honed in, and we were getting it really on target. It does come also with a 1-year manufacturer's warranty on it. Any parts or problems you have, you can send it back to Century Arms and they'll take care of it. Milled receiver AK-47s are a premium. The price reflects it typically. This is really in line with a standard stamped AK-47, which I think $5.99 is a fantastic price for a milled receiver AK-47. You just really can't beat it. And the quality is exceptional. So check out the Centurion 39 Classic by Century Arms International. Excellent AK-47 variant, made right here in the USA, and just an iconic piece. What a great rifle. I want to thank my good friend Anthony for the use of this rifle and let me check it out. I think you've sold me on the rifle. And also with Randy and of course Robbie Wheaton at Wheaton Arms. Just had a great time shooting this rifle, testing it out, and everyone gave it the big thumbs up. Be strong, be of good courage. God bless America. Long live the Republic. Slap back on your finger. Excuse the grime. We've just gotten back from the range and my hands are really a mess. And the bolt assembly. Oops.
Oh, man.
That's all right. Things protected.
GoPro, yeah.
I'll teach you. What are you doing? Just covering my right flank.
It's all fun and games until somebody loses an eye.